An Israeli court has extended the detention of two activists who were part of the Global Sumud Flotilla. Israeli forces intercepted some of its ships in international waters earlier this week. People on board dozens of vessels were trying to break Israel's blockade of Gaza. Spanish activist Saif Keshek and Brazilian activist Thiago Avila were seen in shackles as they appeared in court. Their attorney says they have been tortured in Israeli custody. The Spanish and Brazilian governments have issued a joint statement calling their detention illegal. The pair are accused of being part of the Popular Conference for Palestinians Abroad, which Israel and the US consider a terrorist organization.
As you know, my husband Saif Keshek and his comrade Thiago Avila are now in Israel against their will. The interception of the flotilla that was made by the Israelis on international water outside of Greece was illegal by all means and violating all international laws. My husband Saif Keshek was on board the observer boat and had not the intention to sail the whole way to Gaza. He was going to do the support for the flotilla on land. The Spanish and the Swedish consulate, they have been in contact with Saif, and they have told us that he was in a solitary cell on the boat. He is in a shock and he is very sad because he missed our daughter's birthday yesterday. He couldn't speak with her or congratulate her. He is now on a hunger strike together with Thiago. And it's very important to mobilize now to get Saif and Thiago free. It's very important to pressure our governments. It's very important to do all actions that we can to mobilize, to protest in front of the embassies, in the streets, in front of the embassy, the Swedish ones, the Spanish ones, the Italian, the Greek one. All of them are complicit. Keep talking about the flotilla, keep talking about Saif and Thiago, keep talking about Palestine.
Well, Spain's Prime Minister is accusing Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu of violating international law. Pedro Sanchez is demanding the release of the Spanish detainee.
Now that Netanyahu has done this, abducting foreign citizens, one of them is Spanish, and taking him to Israel, I say several things to Prime Minister Netanyahu. The first is that Spain will always protect its citizens. The second is that we will always defend international law. And this is a new violation of international law. And the third is we want the release of the Spanish citizen who has been illegally abducted by Netanyahu's government.
Well, joining us now on Al Jazeera from Jaffa in Israel is Lubna Tuma, who's a lawyer working for Adalah, an independent human rights organization and legal center, and who's representing Thiago Avila. Thank you so much for your time, Lubna. What has Thiago Avila been able to communicate to you about his experience since his detention?
So since the interception of the boat sailing to Greece, basically the flotilla, on Thursday morning, a series of violations started. During the interception, Israel captured more than 170 activists on the flotilla that they were heading to Greece as part of a humanitarian mission to break the siege on Gaza and to enter humanitarian aid to the civilians in Gaza. While the interception, Israel separated Thiago Avila and Saif Keshek from the others, while the others were released in the Greek lands. Those two activists were abducted into Israel. After they were separated and abducted by the Navy in international water, they were forced or were subjected to a series of violence acts. We could see them only on Saturday, yesterday basically, And when we met them, they testified about a lot of violence that they were subjected to. We are speaking about making them sit the whole time for the last 2 days that they were sailing in the sea on their stomach, forehead on the ground. They were blindfolded the whole time. They were beaten a lot, insulted a lot. They were even Thiago, for example, passed away twice from all the violence that he was subjected to. And of course, we are speaking about a level of violence that by the international law is designated as torture.
Right. So you say Thiago passed out.
The detainees,
you say Thiago passed out twice. Can I ask you whether there have been medical examinations or international observers who've been granted access to Thiago Avila?
So after Thiago passed out twice, as he testified yesterday to me in my visit to him in the facility, in the detention facility, he demanded to see a doctor. The only thing that the doctor did is to give him painkillers. And that is, of course, not sufficient treatment for all the abuse and violence that he was subjected to. I could see, like, there is a visible bruise on his face, on his left eye. It was yellow. He also testified that he couldn't see for 2 days. His right hand is limited. He can move it limitedly. And of course, any medical treatment that he get was very shallow and not sufficient to treat him efficiently.
Lubna, so what legal avenues exist to hold Israel accountable for this?
Well, as I said from the beginning of the interception, a series of violations. All the process was unlawful from the abduction until today's hearing, and I will speak about it later on, I think. There is an entity, a country, that decides to detain 2 foreign civilians from foreign countries that they were in international water nearby the water of Greece, and abduct them and bring them to Israel and frame all the case for a very serious security offenses. We believe and we argue as Adalah Legal Center that all of this arrest, all of this detention is unlawful. There is no authority for Israel to arrest them or to interrogate them, and they need to be released immediately.
Lubna, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Lubna Tuma joining us from Jaffa in Israel. Lubna works for Adalah, an independent human rights organization and legal center.